Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. How y'all doing? I'm doing all right. Shout out to the ancestors. Let's give a moment of silence. For the ancestors, Ashe. All right. This is about the English language. All right, and about Pig Latin and about Spanish. I found some shit out. I don't like saying found something out. Let's say I looked within and saw something. All right, so I remember as a kid, I remember a group of kids speaking Pig Latin or saying some shit, and I didn't know what the hell they was saying, but they was laughing. And I'm like, man, you know, I feel like they talking about me, but I don't know what they saying. Like, it wasn't English. I know that. Just the only language I'm speaking. And at that point, I didn't even know I was speaking English. I didn't know what Spanish was. I just knew that I spoke a language, and I just knew that I knew how to talk and that I could understand them at that age. I didn't know, you know, what Pig Latin was. This probably like third grade or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Around that age. But anyways, they speaking, and then I must have, you know, asked one of them, whoa, what the hell was y'all saying earlier? And he was like, you know, that was Pig Latin. You don't know how to speak Pig Latin? Like I said, I didn't even know what the fuck English was, let alone Latin, let alone Pig Latin, you know? So we further go on to talking. He teaches me Pig Latin, so, you know, cool would be ulke, and school would be cool say, and you know what I'm saying? Like belt would be elt bay. Pig Latin would be ig pay atin lay. Basically, I was in Pig Latin, if y'all don't know how to speak that. You take the first letter of the word and put it at the end, adding what, a vowel and a consonant at the end. But I mean, it's obviously Y, and it's obviously A. But Pig Latin by definition is a made-up language formed from England by transferring, I'm sorry, not England, y'all, excuse me. It's a made-up language formed by English by transferring the initial consonant or the consonant cluster of each word, you know what I'm saying, to the end of the word and adding a vocalic syllable, which is A. That's basically what I said, taking the beginning of the word, the first letter, putting it at the end, add an A. That's how you speak Pig Latin. And this is typically spoken playfully as to convey secrecy. Now this is the catch. This is the niche that everybody keep missing right here. People speak Pig Latin playfully. Like if you speak in Pig Latin, you don't want the person that don't know how to speak Pig Latin to know what you're saying. You see what I'm saying? So it's so that we could talk amongst each other without them knowing what we're saying. But it's done in secrecy, as to convey secrecy. Like, okay, so just think about that for a second, because the noble Dr. Yafa Bey informed me or taught me about how they kept the king's treasure, or they hid the king's treasure in the words, and that's how he don't know how to find it or whatever. You know, he didn't even know he had lost the treasure. So they're using words to keep our to hold the secret. The secret is in the words, y'all. Remember that part. It's Pig Latin is basically a jargon. A jargon is, by definition, the special words or expressions that are used by particular professionals or a group that are difficult for others to understand. Okay, so they also have something called Dog Latin, which is like the Pig Latin to English. Is Dog Latin is to Spanish what Pig Latin is to English. I had never even heard about Dog Latin until I got my shit together, my dominoes in a row before I brought this video together. Dog Latin is a debased form of Latin. All right, it's a debased form of Latin. So it's like trying to put an English twist on Latin. You know what I'm saying? Like Black's Law Dictionary definition, the second Black's Law, second edition. It talks about how Dog Latin is the Latin of the illiterate person. Okay, as a noun, it's Latin words put together on the English grammatical system All right, so basically, dog Latin is like how Americans be trying to speak Spanish. It just don't work out for them, or we be trying to put English twist to that shit. It don't work out. But now let's talk about Spanish real quick. Let's talk about Spanish and what we know about Spanish. Us as Americans, or me as an American, and growing up, you know, thinking I was black or African American, and everybody else in the hood, when we see Mexicans, they speak Spanish. Okay, they don't call it Mexican, they call it Spanish. I applied automatically right then and there Spanish with Mexico and tied them together. In my head then, Spain and Mexico was together. I wasn't thinking about Spain being overseas. Why is these Mexicans speaking Spanish? Later on, I grew up to realize that they speak Spanish because they got conquered by the Spain, just like we got conquered by the England motherfuckers. Because English, by definition, is relating to England, its people, or its language. I'm not its people. And English is not my language. It's not the language of this land. I mean, it's not meant to be used by me. I ain't gonna say it's not my language, because everything ours. You know what I'm saying? It's ours. It's not meant to be used by us, though. But relating to England, its people, or its language. Spanish, okay, by definition, is relating to Spain, its people, or its language. That's as an adjective. As a noun, it relates to the people of Spain, or the Romance language of most of Spain, and much of Central and South America, and several other countries. Okay, so we think that, we know that Mexicans speak Spanish because they got conquered by Spaniards. What did they speak before they got conquered by Spaniards? What did we speak before we got conquered by Spaniards? I mean, not Spaniards, but what did we speak before we got conquered by Englishmen, or Caucasians, or our own people? See what I'm saying? Either way it go, what language did we speak before we started speaking this one? And I'm here to let y'all know most of us spoke Hebrew and Latin. Most of us spoke Latin. Arabic in other places, Hebrew in other places. For the most part, in these areas where Spanish and English is being spoken in, it was Latin. So right now we have a mixture of dog Latin being spoke, and we have a mixture of pig Latin being spoke. And we don't even know we speaking pig Latin by speaking English, or Spanish we speaking dog Latin by speaking Spanish. You see what I'm saying? And what do I mean by that? Okay, let me break this down. The pig Latin is spoken playfully in secrecy, to convey secrecy. We speak in English. English is an equivocal language. One word can mean something totally different. You know what I'm saying? Vowels are interchangeable. We know all this. So if you could play with the English words, and every word, if you study etymology, every single word in the English language can be traced to another language where it originated. So this is like pig Latin that we speaking right now. Every word that come out my mouth is like coming from, I'm pulling words from different languages to make a sentence. Think about that for a second, because this is not a set language that I'm speaking for you to understand me right now. I'm studying other languages, but I can't say that I fluently speak other languages. Not just yet. Okay? But I just want us to pay attention to that. Latin. Define Latin. Define Latin is the language of ancient Rome and its empire, widely used historically as a language of scholarship and administration. Or as a noun, is a native or inhabitant of, okay, a country whose language developed from Latin, especially a Latin American. A native or inhabitant of a country whose language developed from Latin, and that's us. Especially a Latin American. That's us. So people that, like, most of us are more Latin American than we are African American, but we're American. We don't put Latin in front of it because we just American. We spoke Latin. Like, yes, we are of Latin, but we was Moorish Americans. And Spanish is Moorish Latin. See what I'm saying? So when they speaking it, You know, us, when an English person, when somebody speak English, try to, you know, put Latin words together on an English grammatical system, that's dog Latin. Overall, they are speaking Moorish Latin. We think it's Spanish. Spanish is relating to Spain, its people, and its language. What's the language of Mexico, though? Because I ain't talking about Spain. It's Latin. And Latin is being spoke by us and them. We just don't know it. We speaking pig Latin by speaking English. Correct me if I'm wrong. You know, I'm pretty much done with this video. I think I want to wrap that. I'm gonna leave it at that. But correct me if I'm wrong. Think about what I just said. Do your research. Correct me if I'm wrong. We inhabited Mexico, South America, the islands, the North America too. So, I mean, before this side or that side was conquered, before we fought, we spoke Latin. So they speaking Latin, we speaking Latin, they speaking Moorish Latin or dog Latin, and we speaking pig Latin. Notice that they putting animals like dogs and pigs into this shit because we lost. We deaf, dumb, and blind around this motherfucker. We can't even see. And that's how they're hiding the seat. That's how it's a secret. They hiding the shit in the language, and we don't even know what the fuck going on, and we can fuck ourselves over with words, and words can save us. And we can't even say the right fucking words. Hell, and right word translates to jurisdiction in Latin. Jurisdiction, jurisprudence, juris law, right law. Jurisdiction is right words. We don't even know the jurisdictions. This shit is crazy, y'all. I'm just saying. I mean, it ain't crazy. It's really simple. It's just crazy because of this language that we speaking. But with that being said, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And shout out to the ancestors for giving me that. I hope y'all got something from it. Understand, overstand. You know what I'm saying? You know, the seriousness of needing to know etymology. Because if you break down etymology, or if not even break down etymology, if you could break down the etymology of a word, you can know the word and know what it means and be able to use the word and be able to manifest whatever you're trying to manifest more and get whatever the fuck you want out of life for real. Because if not, you know, and I ain't going like this to say this is what I want out of life. I'm just letting you know I'm coming into fruition of this. I'm starting to realize. And it's starting to happen. Like the more I know, the more words I know, the more my reality changes. It's like, yo, your reality is based off of the words you know. For real. Like, as a kid, the more words you know, the more your life start to open up. You know, as a baby don't even know what this is. A baby don't know what this is until he say, what's this? And he sit in and you get out that chair. He look at the chair, you know it's a chair. Mind opening up now. That's all I'm saying. I mean, it gets deeper than that, but y'all know what I'm saying. I'm gonna end this video. I love y'all. Be on the lookout for more videos. Like I said, do your research on words. Find out what the etymology of the word is. Find out what the etymology of the word find is. Find out what the etymology of the word the is. Find out what the etymology of the word out is. Like, just find the etymology of shit. Get down to the study of the origin and the root of a word and how it has changed through the course of time. And you will know. And find out the origin of the word thesaurus. And you will know a lot too. You will realize that, damn, they hiding all our gold and jewels and treasure in words. All right, I'm gone, y'all.